Well, no, the other reason was to raise money for public services. Well, have you seen...
Are you listening to this?
Have you tried to get a GP appointment lately?
Yes,
Right.
I just recently had a heart attack.
Okay, so you know it's tough.
Yes.
So where should they get the money from if it's not from farmers?
From farmers.
With
You hear that, everyone?
with
BBC
assets.
thinks you should be paying for everything.
The revolt is on. In just 137 days, this socialist sham of a government under Slippery Starmer, who lied and cheated his way to power, is facing more popular unrest than at any time in modern British history. Today, and as you can see, the rural revolt began today. Trust me, this is just the beginning of the unrest Labour is going to feel for looking the British public in the eye, telling us a series of lies, and then spitting at us in the face. There are at least 60,000 folk there today, but of course Sly News tried to say there were just a few thousand max. And a resistance movement requires heroes. And one emerged today in the form of Jeremy Clarkson. Fresh off a heart attack, the star of Amazon's international sensation Clarkson's Farm, a man who is now totally uncancelable, and he wasn't taking any of the usual bullshit dished out by his former employees at the British Bashing Corporation. Watch this exchange with Newsnight host Victoria Derbyshire.
Well, no, the other reason was to raise money for public services. Well, have you seen...
Are you listening to this?
Have you tried to get a GP appointment lately?
Yes,
Right.
I just recently had a heart attack.
Okay, so you know it's tough.
Yes.
So where should they get the money from if it's not from farmers?
From farmers.
With
You hear that, everyone?
with
BBC
assets.
thinks you should be paying for everything.
Mr. Clarkson,
Okay,
you
do
know
you
it's
know
not the
how many
BBC's
people
view.
pay inheritance tax in this country?
It's 4% of estates.
What?
4% of estates.
4% pay inheritance tax. 96% of the population of the UK does not pay inheritance tax.
Sure.
After this becomes law, 96% of farmers will.
Where have you got that figure from?
Who here, can I just ask, who here is going to be unaffected by these changes? No one.
Right. Where have you got
I
the
know.
96% figure
Well,
from?
you've got 96%. Well, the same place that Rachel Reeves does, from the middle of her head.
Right.
From the Sixth Form Debating Society that she was no doubt a member of.
Okay.
Which
So-
formed her opinions and yours.
I am a...
Ah, yes, brilliant. That's Trumpian. That is what we need from our leaders. They shouldn't march to the beat of the drum of the MSM. And that approach is working for Clarkson. Just look at this new polling of net favourability ratings. So this is amongst UK adults. Okay, you've got Martin Lewis at the top there, plus 53. But then Clarkson, plus 17, ahead of every major politician in the country. Starmer down there at the bottom, negative 22. Clarkson then took his BBC bashing message to the stage.
Honestly, I don't know where to start. I know you've heard a lot about it today, and I'm not going to dwell on that. I will just say this. Rachel Reeves has told us, what is it, 72%? 72% of farmers are going to be unaffected by this. I've just been interviewed by Victoria Derbyshire for Newsnight. Let's see if we can educate her here, if she's still around, Victoria. How many people here, if you'd raise your hands, are from a family farm? I want to see, right. I hope you can see that. I hope we've got our cameras from the show up high to see. That's a lot of hands. Now, keep them up, and I want you to lower them if you think, and you've had time to work this out, you think you're going to be unaffected by the changes to APR and BPR. Put your hands down if you're going to be unaffected. Thank you. My case rests. I want Newsnight to see that. She was trotting out. Nobody's affected. Rachel Reeves says so. Since when was the BBC the mouthpiece of this infernal government?
Rachel
I've got to get the brakes on. The trouble is I'm off my tits on codeine and paracetamol up here. I don't know what I'm saying. But I do want to finish, if I may, with a message to the government. I do. Not a shouty one, it's this. For the sake of everybody here, and for all the farmers who are stuck at home today, paralysed by a fog of despair over what's been foisted upon them, I beg of the government to be big, to accept that this was rushed through, it wasn't thought out, and it's a mistake. That's the big thing to do, admit it, and back down. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Well, incredibly powerful stuff there from Clarkson. It was actually Sly News, though, who managed to extract an honest response from him about how he really feels about two-tier care.
We continue this fight with them because you are part of the farming community now.
No, no,
and they look to you.
I'm just a journalist who has a farm and is able to report through the vehicle of Clarkson's farm what it's like to be a farmer.
And just how hard is that?
You've no idea. Have you seen Clarkson's farm?
I have,
it's
yes.
that hard.
And I spoke to a gentleman who lost his father, and he thinks it's because of this kind of pressure. And you've spoken
I wouldn't be
about
surprised. The
mental health
suicide rate in farming is off the charts. Because there's just very little support. And do forgive me, I've got to go.
Just a final message for the Prime Minister, if he's watching today from Rio.
He isn't. He's in Rio.
If he's watching,
he's watching. He's going la 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 la. Sit with adenoids. La 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 with his Playmobil hair. Don't like him.
Okay, Jeremy, thank you.
But the question really is, do we have the people power to properly take on Starmer's government? Clarkson has his doubts.
Say we made a mistake here and then back down.
What happens if they don't?
I don't know. British aren't very good at protesting.
Keep moving.
But Reform UK leader Nigel Farage clearly has higher hopes.
How angry do you feel?
Very angry. Very angry. For all my friends that are farming, I'm just a farm worker, but for all the owners that I know, yeah, really. And the most thing I'm angry about is the mental health and people dying because of this budget and committing suicide. Someone needs to be held accountable for that.
Well, the thing is, can we get it reversed? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a bloody grey area with it all, isn't it? But I think today will do a bit of good on it all. And I think people ought to be a bit careful, because if it don't get the answer today, I think farmers will go the next step further. And well, you've seen how many people are here today. I think there'll be trailers dropped on motorways and tractors everywhere. I think it could be a serious problem.
You don't mean we could become like the French?
Yeah, it could be. Well, that's what it needs. They've got the answer.
Should we be like the French? Yes, it'll sort it out, won't it?
Too bloody soft.
They're Tony Militant, this lot.
I actually had hope today too, because this was an event that reunited the right. And that hasn't happened for a very long time, because it reunited the right from Clarkson to Nigel Farage to Katie Hopkins.
60,000 of them are here outside Keir Starmer, and it's time this government stopped talking and started listening to ordinary British people. If one of these politicians had to work a single day in the life of these brilliant farmers, they would learn what actual hard work is all about, and I wish them all the very best.
And from Katie Hopkins to one of my heroes, Andrew Lloyd Webber, Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber, who gave this fascinating interview to Bev Turner.
So what is the fear, Andrew? What would your fear be should this tax impact these farms in the longer term?
In the longer term, what will happen is they'll all be bought by probably foreigners, outsiders, people who are not buying it for the love of the countryside. They're buying it purely as a long-term investment. Many, many, many people are hovering around at the moment, rubbing their hands in glee.
From Lord Webber to the new Conservative leader, Kemi Badenoch.
Reverse the family farms tax. I have here with me Victoria Atkins and Robbie Moore. They are the shadow ministers who are watching what the Department for the Environment, Farming and Rural Affairs is doing. They're watching the Treasury. We are the team that are working for you. We know the burden that farmers are carrying. A lot of people think that farming is just a business. It is not just a business. It is a way of life. It is about family. It is about the land. It is about the environment. It is about our food. We cannot survive without you.
So there was one odd man out today, Keir Starmer, the farmer harmer.
20,000 farmers are reportedly descending on London in protest of your budget decisions. You say you're supporting farmers. Why don't they believe you?
We are supporting farmers, and I want to support farmers.
He looks terrified. He should feel terrified. But isn't it beautiful seeing the elite get a metaphorical beating, especially when it's that smug, sanctimonious and revolting character James O'Brien on the Labour Broadcasting Company. And huge credit. I actually want to know who this guy is. If he's watching, if this young farmer Charlie is watching, I would love to speak to you, because finally someone took James O'Brien on in his own territory and won.
You sell some stuff.
Like what, James?
Well, some of your land.
Who's going to buy it? Who's going to buy it?
I don't know. Lots of people are trying to buy land.
James,
We spoke to.
know. That's the funny
What
thing.
do you want a name?
Another farmer's not going to buy
John.
it, are they?
John's going to buy it.
Farmer,
John is going to buy it.
John's going to build solar panels on it.
John. I don't know what he's going to do with it, but he's going to. But you asked me who was going to buy it, which you don't recognise.
We've had the
You're
offers
shouting at
for
me
solar
again.
panels. We've had the offers for wind farms.
Well, there you go.
We've
Then
had
what
the
are you
offers-
complaining about?
Because we don't want to concrete over the land. I know you're a townie. I know you're happy living in your liberal elite world of London. But for us, the countryside is the countryside. It's where our food comes from, James.
So you've been
seem to have
offered.
forgotten that.
You
seem to have forgotten that, haven't you, James?
Charlie, you
can't
don't.
accept it.
Okay, mate. I'm going to have a
I'm
little.
not your mate. I hate you. I think you're an idiot.
Okay.
I think you're a lefty, liberal, woke idiot.
Okay, Charlie.
Let's tarmac the
Charlie.
AOMBs. Let's tarmac them. Yeah, get some solar farms on there. Yeah, why not, James?
I think
hey, James, you like immigrants? You
Charlie.
probably want to see some homes there as well, don't you?
Well,
London,
down with
liberal
homes.
elite.
Down
When was
with.
the last time you went to a farm?
I grew up on a working farm. I probably should have mentioned that sooner. I grew up just outside Kidderminster in Worcestershire. The farmers are all around Chaddesley, Corbett, and that area.
So what? Your dad was a farmer?
Absolutely. No, I've explained several. Do you listen to this programme?
So when you? No, I don't.
Well, how can you have such
I
strong?
think you're an idiot.
How can you have such strong views about me then?
Because the few times I have listened to you, I heard how you speak to people. You talk over them and cut them off, like you've done to me.
Down with that sort of thing, Charlie?
You are down with that, I know. That's what you
I
love.
mean down with talking over people and shouting at them.
Oh, I'll shout at you. I'll give you everything that you try and give me.
I've tried to give you a fair hearing.
You haven't. You haven't at all.
Okay.
I pointed the facts to you and you won't accept it.
Okay.
You know nothing, James. Stick in your London liberal lefty wokeism. You know nothing about farming.
Yes, Charlie. Yes, Charlie. And do you know what happens when James O'Brien knows that he's lost? I was watching very closely, and it wasn't fully in the clip, but he goes to his producers and he says, turn them down, turn them down. Charlie won. And that was just one part of the rural revolt which begun today. But trust me, it won't be long until most of the population feels the same way about this government. And that's when the real fun begins. Now, my superstar panel. And I am absolutely delighted to be joined today by one of my favourites, the UKIP deputy leader, formerly now a Conservative commentator, amongst other things, Rebecca Jane. And joining us for the first time, and a very appropriate day to have her, the farmer, Tess Wheldon, who was at the protest today. So, Tess, quite an incredible feat for the right to be united in such a strong and positive fashion. This was the beginning of something today, wasn't it, Tess?
I certainly think so. And I think that it really says something that farmers have come out and protested, despite the NFU saying don't come out, despite there being a sign-up link that it came out is going to be sent to DEFRA so that DEFRA can go and target all the farmers who signed up to come out and protest. Despite that, farmers have been pushed so much, not just by the Labour government, but by the Tory government beforehand, that we have no option but to take to the streets and protest. And farmers don't want to protest. We are used to being up in all manner of conditions, in the middle of the night, saving a lamb that's fallen into a stream, helping a cow that's calving for the first time, wading through mud. We're happy to be in snow, in sleet, in hail, in freezing conditions, in the boiling heat. We don't care. We're there, we're farming, we're used to pain. What we're not used to is not being permitted to farm anymore, and that's what's happened.
Indeed. Rebecca Jane, quite incredible to see that group of people come together, right?
Yeah, I think it was very powerful. I think it was very moving. I think that obviously, as Tess just said, this isn't just about the Labour government. This has been going on for a very long time. Farmers have been penalised in numerous amounts of ways. And what people are forgetting here is that they are the backbone of part of not just our food production, but of our society. I mean, who is actually genuinely, no offence, but who is actually going through education, university and going, I want to be a farmer? Not very many people. So all we have to rely on for our food source and for people to do this incredibly difficult and taxing job are the people that are actually coming through the families and are being, obviously brought up that way. They're the people that are doing it, and now they're the people that are going to be penalised the most by this and probably turned into other directions and other careers. And that is not what we want, because we don't have a whole flurry of people who want to be farmers today.
No, of course. But Tess, I very much believe this is more sinister. But first, with the holidays creeping up faster than your aunt's fruitcake recipe, I've got something way better to share with you. If you want to look sharp for all those festive gatherings and maybe finally win that Best Groomed at the Family Dinner award, check out the latest masterpiece from Manscaped, the Chairman Pro Electric Foil Shaver. Trust me, it's a bit like Rudolph for your face, guiding you to a smooth, irritation-free shave. So let's dive into the goods. The Chairman Pro is armed with not one, but two interchangeable skin-safe blade heads. Think of them as your grooming superheroes. The skin-safe 4-blade foil for when you want that baby's bottom smooth, and the skin-safe stubble trimmer for when you want to keep some stubble, but clean it up a bit. It keeps you looking sharp while minimising razor burn and irritation, because nobody wants to show up to the holiday party looking like they lost a fight with a Christmas tree. But wait, there's more. The Chairman Pro has Flex Adjust technology, which is basically like the holiday miracle of shaving. It's like Santa's elves made it just for you. The blades and pivoting head adjust to every curve of your face and is gentle on the neck area, as if they had the gift of foresight. So go ahead, kiss that awkward jawline patch goodbye. No more pretending it doesn't exist while you hope nobody notices under the mistletoe. And if you want even more precision, on the right side of the bracket, there's a precision lock. When you lock it, the blade head sits firm so you can achieve a more precise shave. And here's something that's going to make your grooming routine even easier. The Chairman Pro is waterproof, so you can use it in the shower. And the waterproof feature doesn't just make shaving easier, it also simplifies the cleanup too. Just a quick rinse under the sink and you're all set. The Chairman Pro isn't just for daily shaves either. It's powerful enough to tackle up to 5-day growth, making it perfect whether you're shaving every day or just tidying up after a few days. And with up to 75 minutes of runtime on a single charge, you'll have plenty of juice to get from Santa's beard to smooth as a snow angel. See what I did there? It even has a travel lock to make sure it doesn't accidentally turn on in your bag, and an LED spotlight to help you see every detail, ensuring nothing gets missed. Get the Chairman Pro today and experience a shave that is as smooth as you deserve. It has everything you need to keep your face looking and feeling the best, all in one box. So head on over to manscaped.com and join the over 11 million worldwide who trust Manscaped. All you need to do for 20% off your entire order and free shipping is use the code OUTSPOKEN. So enter the word OUTSPOKEN at checkout. So that's www.manscaped.com using the coupon code OUTSPOKEN. Labour's attack on farmers is deliberate because they want small farmers out of business, given that they have control in lots of ways over the big corporate farmers. And we know what the push is. We know what the globalists want. And I'm not joking when I say they either want us on vegan diets or eating bugs. That is the future. So there is good reason, if you're following the globalist agenda, to stamp out small farmers. And so that's why actually there's more for us to fight for. If you want to eat meat, if you want to be in control of your own diet, that's why we also have to support our small farmers.
Absolutely, and I can tell you what I've been hearing from the British people is that we will not eat the bugs. We will not.
No.
We want to have...
No way.
Yeah, we want to have decent British food, and the food standards in the UK are far higher than they are in the EU, in New Zealand, in Australia, in America. We have some of the highest food standards for the production of food ever. I mean, I speak to other farmers. I know that year-round we keep our farms immaculate. We make sure that we don't have any sort of pests. We make sure that all of our fields are not only clean and dry, and our animals have places to go and shelter, but also that lots of us take our farms organic because we get far higher prices for the meat. There are a whole load of incentives in the market to actually produce food to a very high standard. Not only that, if the globalists really wanted lower emissions, if they really believed in anthropogenic climate change, which I certainly think there's a whole load of debate, the planet's been going for a really long time. And I think that thinking that humans are going to destroy it in 50 years is just arrogance, frankly, from the liberal elite. But if you do believe that, if you do want lower emissions, surely you want food produced in the UK, because food produced in the UK doesn't have to fly over on airplanes or come over on trucks, and therefore it produces lower emissions. On that point, people say, oh, cows produce methane, sheep are destroying natural diversity, biodiversity. That's absolute crap. They've done studies, and cows produce no more methane than grass produces on its own when it decomposes and then grows again, as the natural cycle of grass. Therefore, what they want is not to just get rid of cows and then have crops grown. The only way that you would lower emissions further compared to having cows is if you concrete over the land and you put something like houses or solar panels on. And this is what I believe Labour is doing.
Which is what they want. I mean, look, it's what they want. As Jeremy Clarkson said, ethnic cleansing of the countryside.
Yeah. Well, literal ethnic cleansing. They want to have 20% of farms sold off every single generation. What they're going to do is have developers buy it up. They've already, made sure that you can pretty much build on greenbelt land if you try hard enough. And then they're going to put a whole load of houses on, put some immigrants in the houses, and then give them public sector jobs, grow the state, bloat the state, so they have an opportunity to tax people more and push down their enemies more, and then create a client state, because those people with those public sector jobs will have to vote Labour back in to keep their jobs. We have to be very scared of Labour, because Labour is not just a political party, they are a movement.
100%.
And therefore they are very, very dangerous.
100%. And they're a movement backed up by the globalists that very much are all signed up to the World Economic Forum agenda. This is dangerous. And so that's why what you have today is the BBC just trying to dismiss this as, oh, you're just talking about a few rich farmers. That's what they want you to think. It is so much bigger than that. But Rebecca, can we just please take a beautiful moment to enjoy James O'Brien being completely owned by that young farmer, Charlie? I just loved it.
That was embarrassing, weren't it? For him, of course, it wasn't for Charlie. Thank goodness that somebody actually said it exactly like it is, and thank goodness that somebody put him in his place. It was quite unfortunate that you literally saw it on his face, that he lost the argument. He didn't know what to do. It was just a complete embarrassment. But I'm so pleased that people are actually having a voice about this, because it is so easy to be dismissed, especially in sort of other media organisations. And I thought that it was a marvellous piece of work. Let's say that
it was beautiful. And Tess, Jeremy Clarkson, okay, he's just had a heart attack. He has a very comfortable life on his farm. He's making the Amazon show. He's recovered from his cancellation attempt by Meghan Markle. But anyway, you could see him becoming Britain's Trump.
I certainly think that he speaks very passionately. Certainly, like Trump, he's had a career before in entertainment. I think, unlike Trump, he doesn't want to be in politics. You can see that he's very happy on his farm. He's doing a great service for farmers. While he's not a commercial farmer, he's admitted that. He's admitted that he's in the minority. And therefore, all the attacks saying, oh, Jeremy Clarkson, look at him swanning around on his farm, look at his easy life. Farmers are all like that. They're all greedy and lazy, which is what one Labour politician said on Twitter recently, I think today at some point. Despite those attacks, he's actually in the minority, but he is helping to show what farmers go through. But I think he's quite happy. He's doing what he's doing. And my heart would break for him if he felt that he needed to get into politics. I think that he would if he felt that there was nobody else doing it. But at the moment, him going forward, speaking about issues that he cares about, making that Amazon show, I think he deserves a rest, certainly after having that heart attack. And I've certainly been praying that he gets well soon.
Me too. Oh my goodness. And look, whether he's in politics or not, what we know now is that there is lots of ways, especially because we've got this independent media ecosystem growing, there's lots of ways to challenge the narrative. And I think whether he does run for parliament or not, which I agree is unlikely at the moment, there's lots of ways that he will be now helping change the agenda. Breaking right now, the fake news agents John Sopel, Emily Maitlis and Lewis Goodall have just declared they don't believe in free speech. In an astonishing row with Star Daily Telegraph columnist Alison Pearson, who you'll know remains under investigation by the Essex police for a tweet. So let me take you through this story because it really is astonishing. So Hugh Edwards defender John Sopel wrote on X, a platform that recently he claimed he was quitting, a word on Alison Pearson free speech row and what she describes as a Kafkaesque threat to it. Today on the newsagents, we asked her to appear. She said no. And if you get any aspect of the story wrong, my lawyers will be watching. You gotta love a free speech warrior. Alison responded, yes, John, I refuse to appear because your bias against anyone on the right is clear. Also, you defended your friend, the child pornography viewer Hugh Edwards, and attacked those who called him out. Yet as a journalist, you think the police visiting a fellow hack is okay. So a reminder, this is what Sopel had to say about the BBC sex abuse video sharer Hugh Edwards.
I think it would be a crying shame if this is the last we see of Hugh Edwards on television, when the allegations have turned out to be not that much. And I think all his friends will just be wishing him well at this stage, because Hugh commands huge respect in this industry.
So this guy is an establishment stooge, even when it comes to defending paedophiles. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.